Hello, I'm here top of Church Street, Primark, Bold Street End. It's busy. Monday afternoon. Further to yesterday's video, there is an economic and cultural dispossession underway here in our city, right? Long-standing proud Scouse communities are being culturally changed. Our Scouse economy is falling more and more into the hands of universal Scousers, our adversaries. So, given that, I'd like to make something clear. No one's saying don't use any of the services they provide, unless there's a Scouse alternative, of course, right? What I am saying is there is too many now, and it's defining our city. Our city is being defined now by businesses run by universal Scousers, right? Everywhere you go. The high street in Liverpool, or should I say, Scouse heartlands like West Derby Road, County Road, Breck Road is 3 examples, right? Their character and identity are changing, right? Because of the face of cultural change. It's stripping away our Scouse identity, our Scouse character, our Scouse status. And so these places now, as I say, the aforementioned Breck Road, County Road, West Derby Road, they're becoming different places, more akin to where these universal Scousers have came from, right? So we're losing, as I've said, our Scouse uniqueness, right? Character, identity, it's being changed because there is that many businesses now owned by universal Scousers. It's changing the identity of Scouse communities. I've said that right. And while all this is happening, Ian Byrne, MP for West Derby, Dan Carden, MP for Walton, they are watching this change underway along major Scouse heartlands here in our city. Breck Road, County Road, West Derby Road. They are watching that change underway as I speak. They are not making any efforts to oppose what is happening. Because like I've said, no one's saying universal Scousers shouldn't be allowed to what's the word for it? They shouldn't be allowed to run, it's not what I'm looking for, but they shouldn't be allowed to run businesses of whatever type in the city. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, there is too many. And because there's too many, our Scouse identity is changing, especially along the Scouse heartlands, West Derby Road, County Road, Breck Road as such, right? That's what is happening. Them places are losing their unique Scouse identity. There is too many, and that's why further cultural change must be opposed. Like I said, Ian Byrne, Refugees Welcome, MP for West Derby, Dan, the Diversity Man, Diversity Your Strength, MP for Walton, they're sitting by while this change is underway. It's changing Breck Road, County Road, West Derby Road. There's 3 examples, right? It's changing the identity of those Scouse heartlands. That's what's happening, right? And they're remaining silent. They're not raising any opposition as to what is happening. They're just remaining silent. And this is shocking because they're part of their constituencies, right? Walton and West Derby. And they're remaining silent. That's what's shocking about all this. This is why I continually criticise them. This is why I call them out. Because they shouldn't be remaining silent, should they, ladies and gentlemen? They should be speaking out as to what is happening, right? There is a change underway. And like I've said, this change isn't going to be a welcoming change here in our cherished city centre for our children and grandchildren, coming into an unfamiliar, unfriendly city centre that we've all cherished and loved and been excited as children coming here and whatever, right? the remaining silent, ladies and gentlemen. That is what is bad about all this. If you could just get on social media, don't even have to mention me, and just say, listen, people are concerned, worried even as to the change that's underway, and give some explanation whether or not it's a good thing, a bad thing, it should stop or continue, but they're not. The remaining silent. So the Scouse Heartlands, Breck Road, County Road, West Derby Road, right? Their Scouse identity is being changed. Those heartlands, those communities are being defined by businesses. Universal Scousers are opening. Now, like I've said before, I use them. I shop in the mall. There's one where I live. I think they're Sri Lankans, lovely people. But you don't want the city full of them, do you? Of course you don't, right? Turkish, Kurdish barbers. I believe they give a brilliant shave, brilliant cut. But you don't want the whole city defined by them, because what is then going to be defined as Scouse in Liverpool? Nothing, because it's going to be changed, it's going to be replaced. So that's why we need to oppose further cultural change. Those who are in our city now and are prepared to embrace our Scouse ways, beliefs, values are more than welcome and can stay. Those who believe we can't accommodate their needs need to relocate to another town or city that can. Go to Bradford or Birmingham or somewhere, right? Or London, right? Because the vast majority coming here are from a culture that doesn't want to assimilate, wants to dominate, right? They have no intentions whatsoever of assimilating, integrating, except other than impose their culture over ours. That's there to see for everyone, right? You know it is. And so these politicians, like I've said, it's not just Ian Byrne or Dan Carden, it's all of them in fact, but they'll do, right? Because their two constituencies, the places that I'm familiar with, I frequent up County Road, I frequent up West Derby Road, I frequent an awful lot of Breck Road, I have most of my life. So I watch these communities, these long-standing proud Scouse communities, change more and more by the day, and this is wrong, ladies and gentlemen. No one's saying new arrivals, universal Scousers shouldn't be allowed to have this or that business. But surely to God, they can't have them all. Surely there has to be something that we run, something that Scousers can go to their fellow Scouse brothers and sisters and acquire. We can't be totally beholden on universal Scousers. Because like I've said, due to this, our city is changing. It's losing its Scouse identity, its character, its status, its humour, everything that makes us what we are, Scousers. And these reckless politicians, they ought to be ashamed of themselves, but they're not. They're remaining silent. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to continue to remain silent. So what we have to do, come election time, find a candidate, reliable, credible, opposed to further cultural change, and give them your votes. Let's wipe the smile off their faces, right? Taking our votes for granted, thinking I was just going to keep voting them in no matter what. Well, hopefully those times are changing, ladies and gentlemen, because this is what is happening to our city, our cherished city centre, Scouse schools. Everywhere you go, on the bus, supermarket, cultural change, our identity, our Scouse identity is being stripped away, right? That's what is happening, ladies and gentlemen. Our Scouse identity is being stripped away. We're losing our unique Scouse status. I know the good people of Liverpool, the vast majority anyway, understand and agree with what Joe Owens is saying. This has to stop, ladies and gentlemen, because if it doesn't, there's not going to be a Scouse city to pass down to our children and grandchildren. And that's not worth thinking about. That is just horrendous. What would our forefathers think? Hey, those who fought for the rights and fair wage on the docks, the sugar girls, the Tate and Lyle, and all these other major factories, places, Scousers sacrificed and stood up for rights and whatever, and got them. And yet here we are now, throwing all this away, giving it to universal Scousers. Listen, it's not the universal Scousers' fault. Don't blame them for coming here, right? It's these reckless politicians, right? They're the ones to blame, right? No one else, it's them. They are the ones to blame. It's shocking what is happening, ladies and gentlemen. Truly, truly shocking. I'm going to go now. I may do another video later, but remember, say no to cultural change, yes to Scouse pride. Shout it out loud, Scouse and proud. Okay, thank you.